What's up, everybody? My name is Dimebot. Playing Block and Load today. Now, some of you may have already seen some footage of this from the research stream that we did on Monday nights. It's on Steam. How bad can it be? If you guys don't watch those streams, I'd recommend tuning in. They're a lot of fun. I'm joined by Scarlet Dragon from Sanitarium FM. We take a look at a lot of games, and a lot of the footage and a lot of the opinion that you guys hear in my videos' first looks comes from those streams. So Block and Load is one such game. Now, Block and Load has just come out on Steam, and it's basically a mashup of Team Fortress 2 and Minecraft. Maybe also Ace of Spades. So we'll enter the practice grounds here and kind of show you guys what's up. So right off the bat, I do have an issue with this game. When you're picking your hero, you are on a limited timer screen to pick them. And if you don't know what their abilities do, it's very hard to actually sit here and read them in that time and make an actual decision. The interface is not exactly the most intuitive either. There's no back button. You have to click on the hero again. There's the first time that I got in here, I didn't know how to get back out. So you have a demolition guy, you have a artillery guy, you have a hit and run assassin, you have a big game hunter sniper, you have a builder and repair guy, and you have a healer. Go ahead and take the ninja, because ninja. So the other thing that I don't like is if you look right here, these are his abilities, but you have no actual idea of what the abilities do, because there's no tooltips in this game at all. I have not been able to find them at all. You can press G to see what a block does, but that's about it. So unless you click in and out of this menu repeatedly, or you read a wiki, which it's 2015, I don't want to read a wiki for a shooter game that should bloody well have tooltips in it. So I can see what all these blocks do, but if there's some question about what my special ability does, or what my what one of my other abilities does, no, I can't see that. I have to go somewhere else and read something. So it's got, you know, environmental hazards, you've got mud, you collect resources here, these resource blocks. So lava kills, video game logic. So as you can see, it's not a bad looking game. You have a tool, which in the ninja's case is the claws. I'll show off one of the other classes a little later on. You have a main weapon, and you have secondary, which for the ninja is throwing stars. You can also kind of climb very rapidly by holding shift, especially the ninja because he's got wall climb. And the object of this game is... At the beginning of every level, or every match, you and a team will be forted up on one side of the level, and there's a timer, and you are trying to protect your base and your base's shield generator, and destroy the enemies. So it's a fairly straightforward game mode, but the addition of the Minecraft-style voxel world and mechanics give you a very interesting set of options on how to go about achieving those goals. So let's hop out here and find a match. So this is the main menu. There are skins, there are different ranks to unlock, different perks and things. Let's hop into a friendly game and play solo. Actually, custom games are great for solo practice. Let's do solo practice because I don't want to piss off a bunch of other players. We go. There's a variety of maps. We will go with block keep because I like keeps. Start. And I would like to go with this guy. Let's select his skin. I'll go back to his normal. You see it requires level 10. You do level up. Now select blocks. You have a variety of blocks that can do things, and you can select different blocks. So like I could take this glue block, or I could take this TNT block, or this dynamite block. In fact, I would like to have the large bomb block. And I will block in. Everything's very block themed. I do like the theme and the design of this game. It's got great art. It looks really interesting. There's some really derpy animations though, which, you know, it happens. So here we are in the opening stage of the game. This is our cube. This is our shield cube. We must protect. Their cube is that way. You see your map here. So,
enemy combatant spotted.
Whee! You can crouch, of course. So what I want to do is come over here to our cube, and now if I was playing one of the other classes, I would just kind of dig this out and place traps down here, and then there's this type of block you can put in here that will take on the appearance of whatever other block it's attached to, but then break when somebody steps on it. And that can allow you to put traps into there. So I'm just going to dig out a little kind of moat thing to make it harder for them to get in. And we'll talk about how this works in the other modes of the game real quick. So, you know, the enemy, they can dig through here. You have a good 5 minutes to prepare your base, so we can dig through. I think eventually the wall will stop us. No? Yes, it will. See, there's the energy wall. So in a lot of ways, this reminds me of the walls challenge map mode from that's popular with Minecraft, because you have all this time to fort up, and you can't really leave your base until then and attack the enemy. So let's actually, now that we've seen a basic setup, let's play a regular friendly match. Hopefully we won't be in queue for too long. Pardon me, my throat's a little scratchy and I desperately need that tea. I think I will play the sniper. Go with his normal skin and his blocks. So I would actually very much like to have the TNT over the bomb rather. There's those fake blocks I was talking about, and we'll block in. Alright, so this is a match in progress. Wonderful. So, there we go. One of the problems I do have sometimes is when you fall down, you can't see things very well. But the bigger problem that I have with this game is that it just doesn't feel that good when you play it. The control feels slightly stiff and stilted to me. It just, the best way I could put it is it doesn't feel connected to the inputs that I'm making. It doesn't feel like that as I play, as I input commands, that they are happening right away. You can see that the level destruction gets pretty crazy though.
Work with me. That cube is under attack.
And we'll crawl through here. So, I mean, things can get pretty bonkers. Tunneling through the levels, entirely valid tactic. In fact, this is very similar to what Ace of Spades tried and failed miserably to do. A lot of that is because Ace of Spades, frankly, was just a very poorly designed game. This game, on the other hand, not so much. There seems to have been a lot of attention and thought put into balancing the classes, balancing the abilities, and I can appreciate that. It's just very hard to know what everything does. We had to have somebody on stream look up what the Tiki turret, the statue that I have, does, because it's just called the Tiki statue. So, that was before we knew that G will kind of allow you to see what cubes do, but nonetheless, it was very aggravating because it was something that would have been really helpful, and we still didn't know what all the actual strengths and weaknesses of the abilities and weapons were, so I'm just kind of digging my way around right here, which is probably pissing off everybody. Yeah, I'm just going to be spending my time digging while we lose the game, probably. I've noticed matches can tend to run either very long or be over brutally quickly. Yep, there we go, they took our base. So, let's see if we can get into a fresh match. And you earn experience. So I leveled up to level 2. I got a new badge. I got a new upgrade. Exit. So I do appreciate the idea of leveling up and gaining perks for my characters. One thing I don't appreciate is I wanted to play this game with some of the staff from Sanitarium FM, one of whom is disabled and cannot play with mouse and keyboard for any extended length of time. This game has no controller support right now. It had it, and according to the devs, it didn't work right and was blocked out. I can appreciate that. However, we reached out to them for maybe some help on getting some type of controller support activated for this game. And it was on a day where they were actively responding to questions, and we received no answer. So that really made her very upset and was kind of a downer on me for the stream, but hopefully they'll get controller support put back into the game at some point. I want to go for the Causeway. But I feel that it's something that a lot of people would appreciate in this game. What I would appreciate in this game is a game that felt like it was more fun to play. That it wasn't just Team Fortress and Minecraft mashed up for the sake of making Team Fortress and Minecraft mashed up. I like the concept here, I like the character designs, I like the level design, but the game, it misses its execution. It's not fun. That's the main problem with it. There's a lot of possibility, there's a lot of things that you can do, but as the game is right now, it's just not fun. And I'll comment on that some more as we kind of get in and play a little bit. If we can ever actually go, because somebody won't lock in. So, which is kind of a thing that happens. Come on, buddy. You can lock in anytime now. There we go. So, you'll see a little longer load or wait time sometimes here because people are picking their block loadouts. Alright, so here we go. So we want to go ahead and head on down. And you also see that some of the animations, like, they look really weird. I mean, they're nice and stylized, but they are a little odd. Another thing that's a little weird is using Q to switch weapons. It's just not natural. There we go, just place some bricks. And
this way! No, that way! No! Which way did you say?
I'm going to come right here and place one of my turrets.
Placing the turret here.
Oops. There we go. Alright, so one thing that I can do here if I want to, and I think I will in a little circle around, is gonna place some traps. There we go. So what I'm looking at down there is you'll see the 2 key on my map seems to be bound to a very large bear trap. That's because it is. So what we're doing is we're going to place these down. And that should be that edge. And there we go. Another problem I have is it's a minor annoyance, but the characters talk almost incessantly. It's very distracting. Like insanely distracting. I've turned it back on for you guys, but literally I tend to leave the voiceover muted permanently when I'm playing this by myself. So these blocks right here, they appear to be real, but if somebody steps on them, they'll break. And they don't look all rainbow colored to the enemy. They look normal. There we go. There's that weird shift jumping mechanic where you can kind of scale walls a little bit. The range on placing blocks is fairly generous. It's not quite as long as what you might expect out of Minecraft, but
fiddle.
So we've built ourselves a little fortification here. And somebody's blowing some stuff up over here.
Take it.
Gets me my gun. I think I'll place another, the turret right there. Another thing I can place is these speed bumps. Now, these will help out my team. There we go. And they're interesting because they turn depending on what direction you're facing. Now, let's go ahead and get some people. This match started. It's 2 minutes. I sometimes feel like the building period, like, kind of, like, what else are we going to do? But they're just building this massive structure over here. Turrets and like, literally building your own base. Like I said, there's some really cool ideas here. I just think the execution falls short because the controls are very floaty feeling to me, and a lot of what you do just isn't that fun. There are sections of the game that are fun, but it's not the whole game. There are sections of the game that are very dull, very repetitive, and extremely boring. And then also that happened. So
You got 1 minute left. Get ready to run.
there are places where they really could have improved some things, where it could have been a lot more fun. Now, will the game probably shape up in the coming months? I hope so. God, I hope so. There's a lot of room for it to grow, God knows. As you can see here, I wish there was a way, for example, for teams to ready up, everybody ready up beforehand, because we've really just been sitting here for 30-something seconds easily, doing nothing, and we've got another 30 seconds to go. So it's not exactly the most entertaining thing in the world. I still don't know what this character's F special does. I assume that it makes their bullseye shots, or bullseyes with the sniper rifle, hit harder, like good hits at long range, but I don't know, because the game doesn't tell me, because the game has no tooltips. And I know I've said that before, but utterly inexcusable in a game released in 2015 to not have an easier way to tell what your game's heroes do. It's absolutely inexcusable that a developer would do this. Oh, I can't get the shot. So you can hear just the combat chatter, like the characters do not shut up. It's they're way too talkative. And I'm not really sure what just happened right there. There was no actual feedback to show what was happening right there. It's often very hard to tell what killed you in this game. In some ways, when the destruction really gets going, it's often very hard to tell what's going on, period. The game bogs down when large amounts of blocks are tumbling and being destroyed at once. It's often very indeterminate what actions are taking place when and where as you playing a match in this game. Which is not exactly good for a shooter. The hitboxes are also not great. I had a match where I was clearly had a line on the character's head. You could see his head unobstructed over a box, and the game simply would not allow the bullets to connect. So there are hit detection issues. Once again, not acceptable in a first-person shooter of this type. So while there's a lot of potential in this game, there's also, as I've said, a lot of wrong. So would I recommend block and load? Absolutely not. Not until it goes free to play. And even then, I would be hesitant to fully recommend it. As it stands now, as a paid title, absolutely not. You'd be much better served by playing something like Team Fortress 2 or even buying one of the Call of Duty games to get your fix. There is absolutely nothing to recommend to this game right now unless you really just want to experience the novelty of building and destroying blocks in a first-person shooter face-defense environment, and that was what drew me to it, and that wore thin very quickly, and it may for you as well. So if you do check the game out, you have been warned. I do not feel like this is one that is worth your time. So guys, thanks for watching. My name is Dambot. Later. Like what you saw? Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, or click on one of these other videos.